just going to wing it.
We're winging it.
That's what we're talking about. So I just hit the record button because we never really pre-planned anything. We have a little conversation beforehand, but I said, "You ready?" Well, I guess
we're ready.
Wing it. I'm like, when have we not winged it? Winging it. Read
my
her chest. Okay, her chest. Read her chest. All right, if you must.
Read my lips. No banned books.
Just start with the chest. Read banned.
So
books. What were you thinking?
Nothing.
I mean, lips right here, right? I thought so. Hello, gosh, you.
What?
Just disgusting.
I feel like I'm the middle schooler that I'm going to be talking about.
Well, that's what we were. Yeah, I have to get myself in middle school mode because I'm not there. I just want to experience a bit. I could pick my nose and I get the elementary mode.
No, no.
And then show.
All right, so everyone, this is October 5th through the, what is Friday? I don't even know.
Friday's the 7th. No, the 10th.
Yes,
the 10th.
Because today's the 8th. Is Banned Books Week. So with that said, I said to Joellen, you can speak on this based on elementary. Okay. So why don't you start? Because I've got a lot to say and that'll be...
But then I said to Tony, after our conversation with Diane, I said, I do talk a lot. That is me on there an awful lot. Let's pick something that is all
you know a lot of things, Joellen.
I don't.
So, yeah, you do.
I pretend to. I mean, sometimes I do.
No, you do. You do. But this is something I do know. So... I mean, I could talk about it.
Well, it does impact, I think, it impacts every grade level.
Yeah.
It doesn't just impact the kids, right? It's not just about the kids. Right. It's a far bigger picture than that. So at the elementary level, we are always striving to, I was doing this because somebody's going to be in our video when I go upstairs.
No.
Anywho, we have for years been striving to become more culturally sensitive, recognizing that the books that we have in our classrooms, and historically, books that we have presented in our classrooms do not represent everybody who is in our classroom. And it is so important for children, for adults, for people to see themselves in the stories that your teacher's reading, to see themselves in the stories that your peers are enjoying. And we were making great headway there.
We
really, quite a bit. It was a big focus.
Were.
And then, dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, we're not getting political, but you can't help but be a little political when you think about the things that are coming down the pike from the new administration with the Department of Education leadership. But it happened even before she...
Well, I wouldn't even call it leadership.
Well, right.
It's not leadership.
There's no...
Right? No,
right.
It is not leadership.
And
I would even go as far to say you're going to look at it as political because that's what's fueling it right now. But really talking about inclusion, talking about diversity, talking about being culturally sensitive.
Right.
When did that become political?
Right.
And when did that stop being just a good human?
Right.
And recognizing that we're not all the same, are we?
Right.
And that's okay.
Right. So I know that in a lot of districts, and even in our own district, the district from which we live, our elementary was kind of under attack, the library, for some books that were just in the library, not even books that, in my opinion, there are books that we teach, or it's usually a choice unit, but there are books that are available for kids to read if they want to. So I know that when it was it gets put in front of our committee of people, and then they go through and figure out what is it that makes that book unacceptable in the eyes of people, challenging.
Trying really hard to stay quiet.
It's so hard, right? Because it's like,
fuck you,
right? Yeah, basically. So anyway,
because what's the criteria?
Yeah.
And who is setting the criteria?
Yeah.
And why are we abiding by that criteria? What is the push behind it? And who are we harming, my friends?
Well,
we know
it's the far Christian right. It is that whole idea of what is not acceptable in Jesus' eyes.
What Jesus? Okay, again, you're making it really hard for me to stay quiet. Because which Jesus are we talking about?
I know.
Brown Jesus?
So, right. I'm just, right.
Okay.
Right, exactly. So I know at the elementary school it was challenged, but I also know that at our middle school and high school, we have, and I know of a lot of schools, your school as well, because I know you went through the what was the program? Lucy Calkins'
Oh,
program
yes.
of choice. It was really setting up these choice books, and then you're teaching a concept.
Yeah.
And then with that concept, you have offerings for kids to read, and then you talk about those concepts, those themes, those questions, and then how it pertains in each of those books. So that is what all of, and I actually had a unit in the high school that was all about censorship.
Yeah.
And so we could
Have
talk.
we banned that?
Yeah,
I
well,
mean, yes and no. We are censoring.
we're censoring so many
banning
things.
censoring, can't ban censoring. I don't know.
Well, it's part of the
I'm confusing
censorship
myself.
is exactly what banned books is all
Yeah.
about, right? So
Absolutely.
we're censoring the readings that we're putting in front of our kids. And as any English teacher knows, as any teacher knows,
Any teacher, period.
Right. We all know that, again, we now have more authors who are writing about their experiences, and they are putting characters in play that speak to all voices, all children and adults.
Well, it allows other children to see there
Themselves.
are different family units out there.
Yeah,
There are
right.
different, there are folks different than them. There are folks that are like them, but there are also people who are different, and it opens up that conversation to learning and understanding, because when you know and when you take that fear away, it's really not that big of a deal.
No,
it really
it isn't. You're just getting to know more people and the lives and the human stories of people who are like you and not like you.
Right.
So you're getting that, and you're understanding that whole, including other people, even though they have different experiences then.
And even those stories that do a very good job touching on issues that have historically not been a bright spot in our history, correct?
Yes.
And from everyone's perspective, in a perspective that's accurate, a perspective that's thought-provoking, and a perspective that gets your class talking. You have that discussion. And that can be anything from women's rights to voting rights to the Civil Rights Act.
People of color.
The LGBTQ community.
It's all about the status of your home or just your household, your class is what I meant to say, your class. Yeah. So all of those things play a part in literature and what we put out there for our students. Yeah. So I will say this, I know that I taught a unit on perspective, and with that perspective unit, we talked about others and how others could be anyone that's not us, right? That's what others are. But when we think about othering other people, it's making someone else feeling less than. And so we talk about, in our English classes at the high school, or at least in my class, we would talk about what does that look like and who are the people telling the story, right? So if you're always having a white male European author, which that's where all of our literature came from, then you're always going...
Females.
I know.
Females.
Right.
You had to.
Or being anonymous when they're writing.
Or we have a minute to go.
Yeah, right. I mean, but at the very beginning, it was mostly white males telling the story. And then when they went and colonized different parts of the world, then of course everything was through their eyes. So they're telling a story in Africa while they look like big beasts or whatever because they were a different color or whatever.
Well, they have to instill that fear.
Yeah.
Right?
So
they have to keep that going, keep stoking that fear, stoking that fear. And really, it's not about the books. It's not about the content. It's far bigger than that. And maybe perhaps that is a good place to end our message, because we'd like you to think about that. It's not just about banning books. Think about what that means for us, not as even as for public schools, but think about what that means for us as a society. Think about what that is leading to. Think about the bigger picture. When do we ban books? Why do we ban books? What is our end goal in banning something that's not like us or someone's deeming inappropriate?
And I would challenge anyone to pick up a banned book.
Yeah. Absolutely.
They're rich with flavor, with culture, with stories of people that may not be like you, but then you understand someone else's plight, someone's life, someone's experiences, and you maybe might feel a little empathy or
And
compassion.
from the elementary level, pick up a book that you wouldn't normally read in your household and read it to your child, and appreciate the discussion that happens, the honest discussion that happens after. There are some amazing authors out there doing some really great things, and their voices should not be silenced.
All right. So from your two tipsy teachers, read, band, books.
Advocate for keeping books in our school libraries and our public libraries. Advocate for the anti-banning of books. Is that a word, anti-ban? Can we anti-ban something?
Sure.
Okay, we're going to anti-ban. Anti-ban, anti-ban. Say that. Anti-ban.
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 Okay.
Anti-ban. All right, goodbye.
All right. See you later.